That's a toxic player.
Yeah, I just couldn't bear it and just land a god in the shop and murdered my player immediately.
You insect!
Yeah.
The
that was one of the best things I ever did, and I'm not regretting it, but I'm not gonna do that again.
Here's the thing. For example, in my world, I'm playing in my setting, it's a low fantasy. So what does that mean? You don't come across a barbarian on every corner or a wizard on every corner in my world. Or not everyone has a chance. Or not everyone uses magic items or not capable of getting them or creating them. As opposed to a high fantasy game. In a high fantasy game, that would be, magic would be in every house. The locks would be arcane locks. When somebody's cooking, they would start the fire with using magic or magic items. So magic would be a part of daily life. Or that would be maybe the arcane traffic lights. Anyhow, but because as on that side, I also do minimal interactions with gods. And I have like 48 to 50 gods in my system, in my world. The higher their levels are, the further away from mortals they are. The lower their levels are, generations are, the closer to humans they are, and mortals. Why am I saying that? Yes?
Have your players killed the gods?
They have not had the opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
But there are opportunities presenting itself from time to time. But, well, that was not the option. It is because, okay, it's because of a specific thing. I do not play over level 13. I don't do epic level. Epic level meaning like level 20 and above. I don't, because that is not my understanding of I don't get pleasure out of that. It becomes a burden, it becomes a homework. If a player has 25 spells, who the heck is going to keep a track of that? I don't want to memorize the whole thing, or features that well, features are fun, but it's like it becomes, in my personal feeling, a lot of people enjoy high-level games. I don't like to play it either. I played so few, just short games. I would never, myself, personal choice, I would never get in a long campaign with the level 15 characters, starting from that. I'm not even saying that. I hate that. I hate starting from a high. I never start any campaign from anything higher than level 3. I usually start from level 0. Well, which actually happens, even let's say when I'm starting from level 3, I would play with them session 0 on their backgrounds. So basically, I'm starting with level 0 from that point of view too. Because I want my players to understand their characters. I want to understand their characters. Because a lot of times, I give a lot of dilemmas, moral dilemmas to my players. So because I like to do that, I have to get to know my player and the character there. A lot of time, they experience certain madness. They get into something, either psychological, or arcane effect, or a godly divine effect, or anyhow, whatever, a necromancer is messing with their heads. So I love this part because it's so life-like. It's like I love to give those dilemmas. The guys from the lesser evil, a lot of times, so that it's a dilemma. Anyway, so I like to do those kind of things. So let's take fighter player comes to your table. Especially this guy, let's say, most probably coming from gamer background, and they think that they want to, I want to play that guy that I play in every game. I just kill everyone, or I like to improve my character, unlock all the features and skills, and that is the thing that they think, which is not a problem because no one has ever explained to them, and maybe they have not come across any material that they would help them understand. So this is my job to teach this new player. They may not even be a new player sometimes. They might be stuck with that. Remember I said earlier, players may not know what they exactly want because they may not have experienced that. They may not have seen the light in a way. So I feel responsible myself on that point of view. So the player who has specific goals or specific areas they like to play, specific characters that they like to play, especially fights and combat-based characters, based on your motivation and based on the players they play with, that they might feel encouraged. And you know, especially when they see examples from other players, after a while, you know, they might even smooth their character out and make it more mellow of a character. Or they might come back to the game, they might demand, yeah, you know what, Dungeon Master, I got this character. The character is so much in combat. I see that. The players are doing a lot of RP. And I think the game is also based on that. I think I want to try that. So maybe they're going to leave and they're going to come back with a more social character. So the person that comes first as a combat-based character might sometimes turn out to be an actor, the same guy sometimes. And this, in this instance, I'm going to talk about so-called well-balanced game. I'm hearing that a lot of, I think I talked about this a little bit in the last sessions. I hear a lot of Dungeon Masters are going like, oh, I provide a very well-balanced game, half combat, half social, and exploration, which is a terrible idea. Why? I'm going to tell you. This guy, the same guy who came here to be, to play a combat-based game, right? On the other hand, there's the other guy who came to do role play, okay? And what happens is that in a so-called half-half, 50-50, well-balanced game, when the social encounter comes up, this guy is thriving because that's his thing. That's what he came for. He loves him. But this guy, because you two promised him a well-balanced game, this guy, on the other hand, sits back, lays back, and waits for his turn to come. Because he's going to believe, or she's going to believe, that he only enjoys this. Because this is the game. This is the game that's promised to them. On the other hand, if this guy thrives in combat, when the combat comes, this guy was promised a social game, so he's not lean back, and he's going to wait for his turn that was promised. That happens a lot, keep it in mind. Physically, you can see players doing that, like waiting for their turn. But what I offer, what I do in my games, is a different kind of balance. What I do is that, especially we talked about this, Kaya was also giving examples. I want my players to improve, get better at that. And, you know, why do I also, another reason that I want it is because when a player is active in different areas and improves themselves, this affects the entire mood of the table. We all start having more fun. When somebody lets go of certain things and more relaxes and understands, especially if I'm as a Dungeon Master providing a friendly environment, friendly table, then they also lay back and they enjoy the rides and they just play their characters in the game. So everyone relaxes, everyone enjoys, and that's, you know, at the end of the day, you're all happy. What I do is that instead of doing 50-50, I design a game or encounters in a way that at the end of a social encounter, they are definitely, if they push for it, they can definitely get benefits or news or tools or advantageous situations which will help them in the future during the combat. On the other hand, I do the same thing for the combat. So in the social encounter, this player who thrives at role play got information about a certain thing, about a combat. So they want to see the end of it because they're the ones who got it. At the end, during the combat, they're going to be like, I got the information. I know that wizard's amulet that he's holding is the source of his power. So he's gonna like, or she's gonna be like, yes, I see that guy. I'm shooting his out of his hands because that player got the information. She or he is gonna want to try to use that information. On the other hand, during the combat, by observing different characters or situations or places, if I put certain details around and give them all like opportunities to understand, at the end, during the fight or at the end of a fight, if they find out certain things, that guy is going to understand that his fight actually started to help this guy. But perhaps he's going to be the one that wants to deliver the news to the quest giver or to the other NPC or the other players, which is going to enable them because they're the ones who got that information. They're going to want to see the end of that. They're going to want to see that that information is used, may it be social or combat. Do you have any questions about this specific thing? So in this way, this guy is going to socially get more active, and this guy is going to get more combat ready. So this is what you want. There is always a social guy inside a fighter, and there is a fighter, combat-based character inside an actor too. You just got to activate it. Anyone? Questions? Comments?
What do you have to do like, if a fighter is only one person and the people is the three people in the four players?
I understand. You're going to read through the situation. Let's say two characters are. Here's the thing. If you base a lot of things, if the player is not willing to soften at the beginning of the game, let's say, and they want a fighting game, then at the beginning it might, and the other ones want mostly sociable, mostly role-play based game, then that is not a good match at the beginning. Because, I mean, here's what happens. If you gotta sit down and talk about it certain times. Let's say that there is a combat ready player who wants combat and enjoys that mostly. And by the game, first session, second session, third session, fourth session, there's no combat, not fifth session. This guy is going to start demanding. Maybe the Dutchman doesn't like it or is not good at combat. I'm just going to throw in some out of nowhere simple combat, and it's not going to satisfy the player. If that happens again, that player is going to start to get disencouraged and going to be disencouraged in the game, going to start coming to sessions late, and at the end, the player is going to most probably leave the game. And then the other players, the dungeon master, are going to blame that person, but that person does not do anything that they did not demand from the beginning. So communication is very important. For example, all my players know that for 3 months, they may not have a single combat during the campaign. Depends on them. If they play very aggressively, yes, this or that way, on the street, at the tavern, when they visit the guard tower, they might each time get in trouble. But guess what? It's a living world. It's an alive, living, breathing, walking, talking world. So if they get too much in trouble, they're going to make a name for themselves. And, well, they're going to make enemies. So it's going to make it impossible. If they are, if the game is based in nature, if they are druids, rangers, fighters, going after a treasure or protecting the willow of a specific forest, let's say, and they are constantly fighting and investigating, they don't need to watch their behavior too much, except for example, when they come across druids, they gotta respect them, they gotta high-level druids, they gotta show that they are earth-friendly. If they don't, they will still be, be punished. It depends, the players gotta understand, you gotta do your best to show them, not punishingly, by teachingly, show them the laws of the world they're in. If they do certain acts, the world is going to react. Just because they are not, a lot of times, for example, let's say there's I'm talking about this living, breathing world. a lot of times, let's say there's a quest, they don't go. They choose not to. You designed it all, and it's paying this much, and they don't go. And the next day, they come across another party, NPCs. They are the ones who took it. They are the ones who got the loot. They are the ones who got the connections and network and allies because of that. And then you're gonna throw it to their faces. You see, that's what happens. Well, the world is changing. If you don't do anything, somebody's gonna do it. But the things that you could have achieved or gathered during that quest, if you didn't, it's not a punishment. You're just showing. That's how it is. The things that you have written as for that battle or combat, or for that quest, you use it for another quest. It's okay. It doesn't mean that's thrown away. The match that you designed, you use it later for something else. Doesn't matter. But you got to show the players that it's that kind of a live world. I think I mentioned that before during one of the questions you guys asked. I said that I do this a lot. Yes, Kyle?
Sure. I was gonna add a few comments on balanced game.
Sure. Yes, please.
If it's okay. Yeah. So first of all, I usually play with my friends, and you can choose your players. That's one of the best features of this game. I usually pick a few guys who can understand and help each other. Like, I do not put 3 actors and 1 fighter to